This one's called Feel the Wrath and it has words.
Feel the wrath. Feel the wrath. Wrath.
$80 fucking scam he was running.
Yeah, $80 a fucking every week.
Damn.
And then we would also, like I said, we'd let fucking those guys come in. The Donnas used to come in too, because they lived right around there. They were that all-girl punk band.
Oh, okay.
The Donnas, and Ness used to hang out with the drummer, the ugly one. But that was better than me. I wasn't hanging out with none of them. You know what I mean? I actually had a girlfriend at the time, man, but I wasn't getting laid. So fucking, yeah. It was horrible.
That's funny.
But, yeah, even when I had a girlfriend, I was fucking still a fucking incel, man. And that was fucking like, you know, instead of fucking like, you know, doing a school shooting, I did Agents of Satan. You know, I mean, I was out of school at the time. So.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But, yeah, so 96, you know, we fucking, you know, Paylone's living there. No Less is there. Fucking Agents played a cool show at Gilman with Abscess. That was Freeway's band with the guys from Autopsy. Newthrush played. That was my brother Russ's band. So all of a sudden now I'm playing shows with my brother's band. My older brother, he's 11 years older than me, is playing in this super heavy fucking band guitar. And that was cool. That like, you know, my brother who had always been in bands and, you know, fucking, and just knew everything. Now we're, you know, playing shows together, doing split records and fucking all that shit. But we played with ETO and fucking and Newthrush and all that at Gilman. And a month later, we got invited to play with Spaz at KZSU. And by this point in time, Kindred had joined Agents. And, you know, I don't remember being like particularly good, like friends with him at that point. And I think, like I said, it more had to do with like my brother and him fucking hanging out together. Like my brother wasn't working at the time. Stinkweed would walk over from his house to Chestnut, hang out there with my brother, do drugs. And he was, my recollection that he was just like, I want to be an Agents. We're like, okay, you know, and Kindred, you know, he just has so much, he's got tons of riffs, he's got tons of ideas, and we were open to that completely because, you know, I looked up to him as an artist. And I would later sort of figure out, you know, I sort of noticed it, but, you know, it would become more and more obvious as the year went on and as the next year would 97 would unfold that, like, he was sort of growing up. At this point, he's starting to grow apart from No Less. And it was, you know, probably mostly because of Dope. You know, those guys didn't do speed. You know what I mean? They liked to party, dude, but they didn't fucking really like to get down like that.
Right.
And, you know, that shit fucks your mind up hella bad. And so he was gravitating towards us more. I didn't do it, but my brother did. When we recorded, it was, I mean, I was working with Paylone at that. Now I'm working with Paylone. I got fired, right, from fucking 7-Eleven. And Paylone, he's like, hey, I could probably get you a job at the bike shop in Burlingame where he worked. And so he got me started there. I would build a bike. I'd build bikes and I'd get like $10 a bike. So I'd build like I could get 8 done in a day, and make $80 a day, which is pretty good.
Mhm.
And then they liked me enough that they just gave me a fucking job there.
Nice.
And then I was on the payroll. And so I worked with Paylon, and I started to become really good friends with Paylon. We lived together, we worked together, we hung out all the fucking time. We started a little project. It never really had a name, but me, him, and Thomas had a little band. No Less was rehearsing in Redwood City at that time, and agents would go in there sometimes as well, and so me and Thomas and Paylon put together a few songs. And when agents went to record with Kindred, our first record with him, that Kindred he actually wrote more than half of it. So
Wow.
I was the only songwriter, for the first couple agents recordings. I was the only stringed player in the band, but he got in. He had all these fucking ideas, and fucking, like I said, I wasn't gonna fucking get in his way about it. I didn't care. I was like, his riffs are ill as fuck. I can't believe this guy's in my fucking band.
Oh yeah.
And you could detect a little bit of the things happen. Everybody talks shit all the time. And people will be like, oh, I like Agents before Kindred was in it, or fucking shit like that. But when he was in it, man, that was when I loved that fucking band when he joined. I liked it way better. It was so sick to be fucking alongside him. And he was at that point in time, I would say he was still basically at the top of his game. He had probably plateaued, like they had recorded Less Than 3, which was the last No Less recording with Kindred on it in '95 when Paylon lived at my house. And Paylon actually invited me. I dropped Paylon off to the session. They recorded it in EPA at their practice spot. And he's like, you want to come in, bro? But I didn't know those guys that good. And I bitched out, I was like, nah, it's cool, man. And I didn't go. And I always regretted that.
Right.
I might have been fucking friends with those dudes way sooner, had I fucking just fucking hung out, partied with them while they fucking recorded that fucking amazing ass record. If I got to see them do that,
Yeah.
see them, witnessing like perfection, because No Less was really, they're a super group that actually is better than the sum of their parts. They're arguably better than Immortal Fate, 976, and Plutocracy.
Uh-huh.
At least those first, when they were those band of brothers. Those first 3 recordings are fucking just perfect. In every way. Nobody ever made music like that.
Totally.
Nobody, and never again.
Oh.
But that was the beginning, man. That was, within months, that video popped up recently. That was cool. From that to just come out of nowhere after 20 years,
Right.
Or 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
I noticed that my void crosses were on me at that point in time, and that was my first tattoo from Bones, was these crosses. And there they are. And then and Bones came and stayed at the Chestnut House for at least 6 months in 1996, and then everything else started getting, I was like, these are my friends, like I want to look like them, and fucking
Yeah. And so that's when I went there at some point in time. And you were there. I don't know. I don't remember officially meeting you till like 2007, 2008 with Matt. And we'll go on that later on. But I remember going there with Kindred and with Weapon, and somebody was getting tatted on their back. And then did Kindred get the H.R. Geiger from Bones, or I don't remember He did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the whatever. I remember him getting that at the Chestnut House. But I mean,
No
I
shit.
only went there a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking. I remember hearing that fucking when you rolled up, like you were like, "Fuck that, man! I ain't even trying to fucking kick it in this fucking shithole."
It was like my garage and my parents' house got pretty bad for a while, but it wasn't even on that level. Because my dad would just be like, "What the fuck is all this? Get all this shit out of here!" You know, it's crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, I would Kindred would, you know, Kindred was great storyteller and fucking. I hung out with him a lot in those days. You know, I hung out with him fucking in 96, 97, 98, all like, and your name came up a lot, you know, and along with a lot of other people, and slowly I would finally meet, you know, some of these people, and it was always cool, you know, to finally meet some of the people that he would tell stories about, you know, whether it was a, you know, graffiti story or fucking, you know, whatever. Just all the kind of crazy ass fucking shit you guys were always getting into and stuff. And,
Oh,
you know, I mean, and one thing that was cool too about, I would say almost everybody, I can't even think of anybody that it didn't work out that way, is that if Stinkweed introduced me to somebody or fucking, like, if he introduced me to somebody that he was friends with, I always got like instant respect from those people, and they were always super cool, and they didn't have to be, you know. You know, I mean, I grew up in Foster City, and Foster City, it's so fucking like upper middle class and fucking like, you know, it takes longer for things to filter in from culture. You know, it's like Foster is the last place where it gets to. You know what I mean? And I would say, in terms of San Mateo County, you know, from Daly City to fucking to Menlo Park, you know, Redwood is gonna fucking be a little bit more. It's gonna happen quicker, and things are gonna be more hardcore there than in the suburb of Foster City, even though it's 10 minutes away or whatever. Just that's how it is. You know, it's a bigger town. But you know, the group of people that I met from Redwood City, man, were all fucking like kind of hardcore people. Like there wasn't that many people like that where I grew up necessarily, you know, or I didn't know them, you know, like, so I don't know. It was always cool. And, you know, that people like Zach or somebody, you know, who is intimidating, like the first time you meet him. I met him at Kindred's mom's house. His parents were out of town, and Kindred had a 4-track out, and they're all fucking, you know, getting lit, smoking, fucking snorting, fucking, you know, rhyming and shit, and fucking, you know, I meet Zach and fucking, you know, these guys are kind of like gangbanger type dudes and shit, you know what I mean? And like Stinkweed's like, yo, this is my boy Frank, dude. He plays fucking Agents fucking Satan, you know, and fucking, it's like, you know, I'm just like, hey, what up, bro? You know, and fucking like all those guys always were like, always hella cool to me. And I always thought that was cool because, you know, I'm just a fucking bitch, you know what I mean? I'm not a hardcore dude at all. You know, I'm like the little dog, you know, that there was a big ass dog with a spike collar, and there's a little dog, he's running around and shit. I'm like the little dude, like trying to be with the sick dogs. You know what I mean? I was never like a hardcore like type fool, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be, you know.
you are.
I say like we gentrified fucking like tattoos. Like I work at Costco, and all I see is fucking like square like moms and fucking like dads and dorks and sort of like fully cut. Like I want to wear long sleeves now, and I don't want anybody to look at me. It was funny. Somebody saw a video. My stepdaughter's husband saw a video I showed him of us at CB's, from 2000. He's like, oh, you had all those tattoos then? I was like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't just fuck. I'm not like all these fucking Johnny come lately ass faggot motherfuckers that I see everywhere, bro. You know, weed's legal now, and like everybody wears like weed fucking clothing and cookies. What the fuck kind of faggot ass shit is that? It says cookies on your fucking on your hoodie. You're a faggot, dude.
Totally.
Pluto was fucking rock like doing that shit fucking like 30 fucking years ago, dude.
Oh.
You know, those guys were fucking real, and it sucks watching mainstream culture fucking catch up with what the OGs were doing fucking like decades ago, and fucking like I want somebody. I mean, I don't care what people think really about me, but it's still like it's gay to be like one of them, man. Fuck you, man. I'm not like you. I'm a fucking rock star. I have tattoos because I'm a fucking rock star, dude. You know what I mean? You're a bitch. What do? You fucking like a parent and shit, bro. Fuck you. You know? Fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No, I feel you. I mean, we were all, you know, Dank Daddies. That was our crew. We were fucking graffiti writers. You know, we smoked weed every day, all day long. And now all these rappers are like, I'm like, we were doing that 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I guess it's full circle now, you know, because it's legal or whatever, but it's just funny. You know, they don't know what the OGs used to do. They just think it's like cool. And like you said, you know, I have tattoos too. I didn't get them till later, but you know, they all mean something to me. They're on my kids' names and shit. But you know, I didn't get all these stupid fucking things up to my neck that mean nothing to me, but just I need to get it because he got it. Because
it like the 49ers logo on their neck.
Yeah, just like,
you know, like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I feel you. I totally understand that. But yeah, so I met you. I was with Matt because me and Matt used to hang out heavy back when I had my little crib in fucking San Carlos, and we used to go all these shows like fucking every single weekend, sometimes Friday night and Saturday night, so he could film all these shows.
Oh yeah.
So we went to that spot in Pacifica, and I'm not sure if you were playing in Altamira or Go Like This, but we were at that show, and then we went out to your Escalade and we burned one, and then I finally officially met Frank, and I was just like, and I'm like, dude, it's so funny that, you know, we were probably in the same areas, we're probably even in the same fucking spot. We never crossed paths until like really fucking late.
Yeah, that was like way late, you know, because I was like, I mean, yeah, but fucking, you know, it happened, dude, and it's all good, you know. It was, you know, it was gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, and then so we started going to your shows all the time, you know, and then and it was both Altamira and Go Like This almost about the same time, no?
Yeah, Altamira started right after Go Like This because Go Like This broke up. Stinkweed had fucking, you know, he was clean, and then the day of the recording session, he got a bunch of meth and fucking was rolling balls and shit. And the drummer at the time, the drummer was not ever really part of our circle. He was an outsider, and and yeah, I got frustrated with Stinkweed at this point. When you write and rehearse and you pay money and you to do records and everything's fucking like running smooth and fucking it's looking good, and then the star of the band decides to fucking relapse on dope. And this has happened, you know, 3 or 4. It happened with No Less. It happened with the fucking Riff Merchants. It happened. Now it was happening again with Go Like This. It's just, you get burned on that shit, you know? And so I mean, in hindsight, I feel bad, but I was tender about it, but I started a band right after. So that dude quit the band. He quit Go Like This. So that kind of sort of ended it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't really feel like jamming with Kindred if he was going to be on Dope, because I just knew how that was going to go. Right. And then Snowman had just got his kidney from Paylon, and he was all better, and he wanted to jam again. And Balsack was the singer of Go Like This at that time. And so we put together a new band with that drummer. But he had the studio though, see? He's the guy that had the rehearsal studio. He was gonna give it up. And so I was gonna ask Jerry from 976 to be the drummer. And I remember calling Mike and going, yeah, are you still down to like hand the studio over to me? Because he had talked about that. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I think I'm going to keep it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, you want to jam? You know what I mean? Like, if he was going to give it up, I was going to fucking get it and get Jerry, see if Jerry wanted to play drums. And we didn't have the name Altamira then, but it was going to be Snowman and me and Balsack and whoever we got to play drums. And in just some 10 minutes of a phone call of like where I'm like trying to get the studio. Now he's saying he's going to keep it. And then I'm like, all right, well, hey, do you want to play drums for this thing? And he's like, sure. And then like, so that's why so that's kind of a bitch. I know the fools were talking out of the shit. Kindred and Thomas were fucking talking shit for a long ass time about that. But, at that point in time, I was sort of like, I was fucking 30. This is 2006. I'm like 32 years old. Jason's friend was running Alternative Tentacles Records, and so Jason had worked with him at a label, and Jason could have, we were going to record and like, hey man, we might be able to put out an album on AT. And so I was like thinking of those kinds of things, and if anything was going to happen musically that was going to be more than like playing at some bar on a Monday night, that was probably the period of time that it was going to happen right before my kid was born. Fucking man, at that time my kid wasn't even conceived yet. So, I had rock dreams, you know what I mean? I had rock dreams, and so sometimes when you have rock dreams, you get clouded, and your homeboy who's a dope fiend, like, you're just like, fuck him, And so I took his drummer who had quit Go Like This, even though, the guy was a good drummer, but he was kind of a douchebag, man. And
I remember.
He did insult Stinkweed one time where I was in that. Basically, I was like, all right, I'm done jamming with this dude, because Stinkweed had gotten sober while Altamira was still a band, and we were rehearsing at the studio and Agents had got this offer to do a recording for Relapse. And so we were rehearsing with Stinkweed at the rehearsal studio that Mike G had. And I heard Mike G was talking shit that Kindred was there. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean? Like, he's sober, dude. Like, he's with me. It's like he has a key to the fucking studio, dude. Like, it just, I basically ended the band there. I was like, I'm done. Fucking, I got to fucking, at that time I was trying to go to school to be an EMT, and I was like, I'm not going to have time to jam for a while. And then I got done with EMT school. My daughter was born. And then a couple months after she was born, I called up Stinkweed. I was at the cabinet shop. I was working back there again. I finished EMT school, but I wasn't an EMT yet. And then I called him up and I was like, what's going on with Go Like This, bro? And he had it going again. And this guy, Rob, was playing bass. Rob Avery, a friend of ours from Texas who had relocated. And he's like, why? What's up? You want to jam? And I'm like, well, yeah, what's up? Is you got Rob in the band? He's like, fuck, I'll fire his ass right now, dude, if you want to. Like, hell yeah, bro. So I rejoined Go Like This and fucking and we did some more agent stuff and fucking it was cool. Kennard at this time this is still right before we fucking did another Plutocracy run.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was funny. I always felt like it was a privilege to get to play with Kindred, and I was his bassist for a long time in a bunch of different bands. And my relationship with him was cool. Musically, it was fucking awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking amazing. And I never shut him down. I knew even if he did something that initially I was like, I don't know about that. I knew that in time I would get it.
Uh-huh.
I would understand.
Damn, what just happened? Hold on, what the fuck just happened? Hold on. Sorry. Give me a minute.
Good. Oh, good.
Fuck. The fucking phone rang and then something went haywire. Okay, what can I do? Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. And let's go back to speaker. So why isn't that doing it? Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on now. Okay. We're still recording, so what the fuck? Okay. What the fuck this thing is here. Okay. Anyways. Okay, and then sorry. And then around that time you moved to Gilroy?
Yeah, I moved to Gilroy in 2010. I'd moved to San Jose in 2000, at the end of 2006. We still had Go Like This going, like I said, and then midway through 2006, Go Like This fucking crumbles apart. Stinkweed goes on a probably like a year and a half long fucking speed bender. And when he never did music when he was on dope. He didn't really do anything during that time. I mean, he might have did some flow. He might have rapped and shit, but he couldn't be productive when he was on dope. So so I was doing that Altamira shit, and then he sobered up. Like I said, we did some agents. We got Go Like, I rejoined Go Like This, and then sometime around that period of time, I moved out here. We had a house in San Jose, man. I had a lot of, I was taking care of my dad and just had a lot of shit going on, and we just, it was during that recession time. I got fucking laid off, fucking on unemployment, fucking just couldn't make ends meet, dude. And my lady, she owned this house already that we live in now, so they were renting it out at the time, so we were able to fucking move here. And I remember not wanting, I mean, I was going along with the program, you know, but I was just bummed to like move further away, and that I'm gonna blame a little bit of that on like how I got into like gay ass faggot social media, you know, because the further away from everybody that I was, the more I would get on my laptop, and I created my first Facebook account when I moved here in 2010. And so, you know, I became addicted to that fucking stupid shit. And, you know, fucking, I'm off all that stuff now.
Yeah. for
Weird though, when you're off of it, it's like you don't exist anymore.
totally.
You know, like you know, you can't share like the new track you put up, or you know, I like, because I have a SoundCloud and I put up tracks, but like, you know, like the only ones that people listen to is like if you fucking like, you know, El Presidente, the one you're on, you hyped it up, fucking, so people listen to that one. Like all my other ones are like 5 listens, you know. So, but that's okay, man. You know, it's better than fucking, you know, getting into fights with fucking like the lamest fucking loser, fucking pathetic fucking.
We don't have to go. Let's not go. Let's not go that route. But so what is it? So you were here. You were here. You were here in 2010. I moved here in 2014. We fucking linked up. We fucking you and I went
to the Dead Kennedys
Kennedy show, and then I pitched the idea of the podcast, and you were like, "Fuck, let's just do it." And so fucking, I had to learn how to fucking, you know, how to record our shit, how to edit it, where to fucking post it up. But we finally did that, and then we fucking had our little run. And it's not dead, people. We're still gonna fucking do it at some point in time. Where I'm never gonna kill that shit. People always, they still request our fucking podcast.
Oh, we'll do one up.
Huh?
We'll do one.
Oh, totally. Yeah. We'll I mean, it's never gonna die. But
how we could do it like this?
Yeah, we could. I mean, for sure. But yeah, and so you know,
I could just go to your house too.
Just gonna be a little bit different because you might drink, but I don't drink anymore. So then I'll just get stoned, and then you fucking drink, and then it'll be a different. But
oh yeah, we could do it like that.
But
I'm cutting back on drinking too. I'm only drinking on my days off now, like
cool.
only 2 days a week.
All right.
I lost like, just doing that alone, I've lost like fucking 7-8 pounds.
Yeah, man, it's fucking empty calories.
Yeah, and it just doesn't do what it used to do for me anymore. It makes me feel shitty more than good. Like I feel good while I'm doing it, but then like I get depressed and I get like, I'm done like going hard, dude. You know, it's like I've done it. Like I'm cool. It's all good.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as you wean off of it and it's not in your life anymore, you get much more productive and you get a lot more. I mean, for me, I don't know. That's what I mean. You'll see me. I bust out mixes every fucking week.
Yeah,
I'm busy doing just fucking. I got 2 side businesses that I'm doing now, and I'm just constantly fucking go. You know, because I'm not just sitting there with.
You're still doing the videotape thing?
Yep. So I got that, and then I'm also doing 3D drafting, like SolidWorks stuff, on the under for companies that need work done. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just constantly like, it's just constant. I never stop fucking like doing shit. And you know,
Yeah.
I gotta put the point across. I'm not against people partying. You do you. I had fun, and I fucking everything that we've ever done. It was been super fun. It's just I need it out of my life, and I'm over a year, and I'm happy, and now I work out, and I fucking hit weights and shit, and fucking I fucking smoke. That's it. So
Yeah, there you go.
it is what it is. But
Yeah, good for you, bro. I mean, yeah, as far as like what you're saying about being productive, dude, like, yeah, like I was saying, like, take a drink halfway during the day, and then all of a sudden, like, like, even if I just want to pick up my bass, dude, I'm not gonna be as sick with it,
uh,
but yeah, fuck, dude, it just gets in the way, man.
yeah, but I mean, there comes a time. I mean, at least for me, I had a lot of trouble with it. I couldn't get off of it, and I'm not the type of person who can just have one drink. Like, if I have a drink, we're going. We're balls to the walls, and I can't do that anymore.
Dude, I mean, every time I came over to your house, fucking do the podcast, I mean, that next day it was fucking, I was fucking gaped.
Totally. We just fucking annihilate. It was fun, but I mean, you do that for 30 years. It's,
Yeah.
fuck.
30 fucking years. Yeah, you're gonna get health problems. You're gonna fucking. It's just a down. It's all bad, dude.
Yeah, man. I mean, and people are just dying off left and right. Like a dude I was working with at my last company, he wasn't that healthy per se. I mean, but he fucking passed away 2 weeks ago, like unexpectedly. He just, and he didn't take
somebody like our age.
52, just only a couple years older. But I mean, he wasn't taking care of himself. He wasn't fucking doing anything to help himself. And I don't know how he died, but I assume he just he didn't wake up, and a lot more people were, as we grow in age, this is going to just keep happening, so.
Yeah, we're going to be starting to go to a lot of funerals, bro.
Yeah. And I don't want to do that, man. I did people, so it's, I want to take care of myself. I want to see my kids grow up and all that shit. So that's
I think our parents' generation, they were a lot healthier than we are. They didn't party like we did.
This is true.
They didn't fucking crap that we do. Yeah. We ain't gonna last as long as them.
No.
We just can't. We went too hard.
Yeah.
But, but we'll pay for it.
Totally. But I mean, there's no, you just gotta, if you're on that path and you want to do what you want to do to get off of it, and then you go and fucking try to get healthy. And
yeah, I mean, everybody has the ability to make choices that are gonna be the right ones.
All in your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, like you, man, you did your vegan thing like a couple years ago, and you're still heavy on that. I mean, that's a good thing. That you eat clean, and fucking, that's props to you. I mean, that's a big step in the right direction. There's a lot of people who still fucking go eat fucking fast food every single day, or just dog shit diet. And it's not going to help you in the long run, especially when you get into the older ages.
Oh, it's going to gape you. Yeah. I mean, I'm just vegetarian, but I'm cool. I'm down. I'm about it. It works for me. It's my choice. But fucking, I would never. I don't care what other people do at all.
No. But so I had like, I had all these questions and you fucking basically answered everything. So, but you want to do the top 5 albums?
Yeah.
So we'll do the top 5 albums that so yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go with fucking, these are records that fucking like changed like how I fucking, you know, they were game changers for me, record, you know. And you know, so the first game changer I talked about it was Metallica Master of Puppets, because that was where I went from, you know, listening to, you know, hair metal type bands to fucking listening to a real fucking heavy fucking metal band, dude, that wasn't about fucking, you know, it was just about the music, you know. Mm-hmm. And that album is fucking just, it's so incredible. The riffs in it, the fucking Cliff Burton, of course, his bass playing and all the sick shit that he wrote for that record is just, it's a perfect album. My boy Ness fucking played me Black Sabbath Paranoid not long after that. And I was always aware of how, you know, no band exists in a vacuum. Like, there's a reason why a band plays the way they do and the way they, and who they were listening to and fucking why they sound the way they do. And fucking when I heard Black Sabbath, you know, it was obvious, you know, when you hear, you know, a bass player with distortion playing through a wah pedal, you know, that's where did Cliff Burton get that from? You know, he got that shit from Geezer fucking Butler, dude. So when I heard Paranoid, I knew that, you know, I knew that they were fucking the forefathers already. But when I heard the record, I was just, I was amazed, because sometimes you think when you hear an old band that it's going to sound old, but that shit didn't sound old. It just sounded fucking badass, you know? And that album is fucking perfect. It's fucking, it was the first one I heard, and I love all their records, but that one I have to pick as my favorite. And then the next game changer for me was Melvin's Eggnog. When I got it and when I heard it, it was like, it felt like it was something that I was searching for, and I was looking for it, and I found it. And that's what it was. It's an EP. It's only like 4 songs. You know, I was going to say Bullhead, because that album came out like just before it, but I didn't have that one first, so I had Eggnog first, so I'll choose that. But that changed everything for me musically. That was like, I was just like, I would love to be fucking half as heavy as fucking the Melvins, you know, at that time. And then after that, I'm going to say Black Flag, Damaged. I got in before I heard Black Flag. I think I had the End of Silence album by the Rollins Band, which is like a fucking amazing album. And so I would talk, my brother Russ would tell me fucking things, and he told me about Damaged. You know, he told me about My War too, but he told me that after I got Damaged. And I got Damaged. You know, he was telling me the stories about it, dude, and fucking and I heard it, and I was just like I just couldn't fucking believe it, you know. And at the end, on the last song on the album, it's called Damaged 1. And there's an earlier version with Dez on vocals, but this one is Henry, and it's just the heaviest fucking song I had ever heard. It was like, you know, I knew why the Melvins were the way they were, and you know, Melvins were like Sabbath and fucking Black Flag put together, basically, you know. But so Damaged, man, I that really just solidified, like, I just was like, Black Flag is like the sickest fucking band, you know, and that album's incredible, and it's so heavy and fucked up, and then was that 4?
Yeah.
So I was gonna fucking pick Stormtroopers of Death, fucking Speak English or Die, because that album was so important to us when we were kids, and you know, it's so funny. The lyrics are fucking just unfucking believably funny. I met Billy Milano, like when Plutocracy went to CB's to play for the first time. It's like you go to New York City for the first time in your fucking life, and my whole thing of New York City is bands like fucking SOD and Anthrax and fucking, you know, a lot of the hip hop shit, obviously. But we go to CB's and Danny Lilker from SOD is there, and Billy Milano's there, and Billy Milano is sitting at those little tables that are in bars where there's just 2 seats. He's talking to some like blonde, like older, like bimbo type bitch. And he's trying to spit game, right? And fucking my boy Lino is there, and like he knows these fools, man, you know, and so he sees that I see Billy and I'm like starstruck, and so my boy Lino interrupts Billy Milano to introduce me to him. And fucking, like, you know, Billy's like, "Hey man, what's up?" And fucking, he just starts talking to that bitch. Like, I was so like embarrassed. Like, I didn't want Lino to do that. Like, I was just like, this dude's busy, dude. Like, I'm just a fucking faggot, dude. You know, like, don't fucking like waste this guy's time like, he doesn't care about me. You know what I mean? Like, but that was still funny and cool. But I was gonna pick that one, but I'm gonna pick fucking Some of the Men by Man is the Bastard, because when I heard that record, and I was already like in the beginning stages of us becoming like part of this underground like punk scene, and you know, like I said, my friend Iad had brought it. He played us specifically the song Skull Crusher, because I think he just knew we were going to love that song. And like I said, he had been introduced to it from Dan and Rob Begstrom and shit. So he showed that to us, and we were like, holy shit. And I bought the record. I think I got it at Gilman, you know, in somebody's distro. And the song Freak Machine on it is just the fucking sickest song. And it was just, to hear a band that was just all bass. There is guitar on it, but it's like hella low in the mix, or it's like it sounds so weird. Like you can hardly hear it really, and it's very bass forward. And Wood, particularly, his style and his sound were just it was fucking so incredible. And I always gravitated towards bands like that had sick bassists, you know. And so to hear a band like that in the underground, that was like mind blowing for me. And I was like, and it put me on the path that I've been on for, you know, the last fucking like 30 years, because it was 30 years ago this year that I heard MITV for the first time. So
crazy.
And I was texting with Wood today, man. We were talking shit about some fucking faggot. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna say those are my top 5. Like, I mean, there's, you know, it's hard to narrow it down, but
absolutely. And you got an honorable mention up in there too.
Yeah, there you go. Because that album fucking crushes.
Oh,
Scotty Ian's sickest riffs. It's fucking Danny Lilker's bass playing on it always stood out. All those little fills that he does, and of course Billy Milano's fucking hilarious ass fucking lyrics, just clowning on fucking people. And that, to me, that's the funnest shit. I think, you know, I like to laugh, dude. Cause shit's funny, you know, shit's hella funny, bro. Like, I think I like it when bands are funny, but they're not like corny about it. It's like they're clowning on people. It makes sense, you know?
Totally. And then we'll get into it. So you currently working on Basscaper shit, and like, how did that come about, and like, what are you working on currently?
Yeah, so Basscaper, I started that right when they had the quarantine in right after Hard Foul played, like basically like the next day or 2 days later, they closed the schools, they fucking just shut everything down, right? So I was posted up, and I had just got a fucking Robin Freedom bass with my tax return. And now a Robin Freedom is the bass that Wood played in you know, Pissed Happy Children and MITB. And I didn't get the same one as him. I got a Robin Freedom 2. It has 2 pickups. But I noticed every time I get a new instrument or build a new instrument, I fucking want to play that shit like every day. Like, and it makes, so my playing has got a lot better as a result of that. And so I got that bass, and, you know, I was off work, and then I started recording, and I had already been recording stuff as Gape Tard. So I was already familiar of using a little digital pocket recorder, and like a 4-track that Tizzo gave me. And so I just was recording songs, and then the name came up. I came up with Basscaper. Obviously, I'm into like gape. I'm into that word. I mean, it comes from porn. I don't like that kind of porn. I mean, I'm disgusted. It's like, I don't want to see that. It looks like a gore, like a horror movie. Like, but I'm fascinated that it exists, and I'm fascinated that people like could like bust nuts to it. But so I came up with Gape Tard. It was originally Rape Tard. That's another story from Facebook. I got a bunch of hate. I said, what's wrong with raping retards on a boycott Gilman page?
Damn.
Fucking faggots, man. But you get inspired, you know, you come up with these things. So Gape Tard. But then basically I was going to build a distortion pedal. I bought a kit, and I was like, I should come up with a name for my distortion pedal. And I was like, and I came up with bass. It's going to be for bass distortion. And I was like, Basscaper.
Nice.
And I thought that would be a cool name for a pedal. And then I just decided to use it for these songs that I was making. And then all of a sudden I had like 20 minutes of song, like 20 songs, and I made an LP of it because Kunaki, it's like this weird little website. They had this thing where you could make an LP. One LP would cost $30, but I was like, well, I gotta see what this is like, right? Ordered one, sounded like shit, but it was cool. And then I ended up making some CDs. I started recording more and more of it. I started building basses too. That's another thing that I started during the quarantines and shit. You know, I like COVID because my life has changed for the better since it. I haven't had any ill effects of it. You know, everybody's like bunch of fucking faggots and fucking like acting like fucking they're gonna live forever and fucking like and life's unfair and fucking you know, like people fucking have their heads up their ass. They don't fucking understand that every fucking day is a fucking another fight to fucking survive, dude. And you're lucky if you fucking get to go to sleep at night, you know? So shut the fuck up and quit being a bitch, you know? A fucking hawk, a red-tailed hawk will fucking come down and grab you and fucking eat you, bro. You know, they don't care about you.
Oh.
But I started building bases. I fucking built a few of them, and I'm getting better at it. The next one I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build it all. I'm gonna build the neck too. My last couple, I bought pre-made necks, but I've cut the headstock design in and drilled the holes and shit for the tuners.
Fuck
But
yeah.
the next ones I'm gonna do from scratch, dude. I'm gonna finally do that.
Sick.
So that's my next thing. I'm still recording. I put shit up on SoundCloud. I almost have enough material for a new record.
Dope.
But I put out 4 Basscaper records since fucking, 2 years ago.
Fuck yeah.
And then there's a bunch of stuff on the horizon. There's a Dank Goblins LP that's getting mixed down right now by Bart that was recorded 2 years ago, but it's finally getting mixed. And then hopefully that'll come out on Wax. And then I did a couple songs on Tony Molina's fucking new record that's probably going to come out soon. And Redacted recorded 2 years ago. You're on that shit. Satan's on that shit. Fucking it's just we need to get it mixed, but it'll come out at some point.
Yeah, Freeway says he was gonna send out copies like last week. So, but
You just have to keep bugging him.
Yeah, no, I haven't said anything since, but I guess he's been posting pictures of all the shit he's been doing at that studio up in Frisco. So
Yeah, he's like doing a Testament video or something.
oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, man, we got those things coming up, and Satan's putting out the Empty People 12-inch, so that should be out fucking soon.
Fuck yeah.
And that shit's sick. That shit is fucking hella sick. TC recorded it, and yeah, it was cool. I got to, like I said, record a couple tracks with Tony.
Mhm.
That was fucking hella cool, man. I'm so stoked he fucking invited me to do that. And those guys came out. We did a little project called Jail Tard. I think I got you. You're on a song.
Uh-huh. Right.
You're on a track, and that shit was sick.
Oh.
Satan's been busy doing a lot of fucking home recording shit.
Yeah.
He's got a new tape coming out soon. It sounds like fucking he does everything, and it sounds like a medic.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds insane. And but yeah, I know there's a new Grand Invincible album out. The Result, dude. I got my tape.
Sick.
Fucking, I do work for Trogotronic. I do soldering work for Trogotronic. We're hopefully going to be doing some sort of electronic project. Either a pedal, maybe a preamp for these basses that I'm building, and we'll see. Hopefully.
Okay. Okay. And so during these podcasts, I've been meaning to ask the person that I have on here, because I want to keep this shit positive. You know what I'm saying? All these we're building the West Bay family tree, right? But
yeah,
we're also trying to keep it positive. We're not out to diss anybody here or fucking whatever. It's all educational purposes and running the fucking history. But
Yeah.
You're the first person. So, what's one positive thing that you could say to the youth that has interest in music or bands? Like, something that they, because unfortunately, we've said this multiple times, that when we were growing up, we had hella music to look up to fucking, like, we had Def Leppard, we had Rat, we had all these metal bands, and they were on TV, or you could fucking like access them. And the kids nowadays, they don't have shit. Like,
Yeah, they want to be SoundCloud rappers.
yeah, and it's all dog shit. Like, but kids still want to get into this stuff, and they still listen to the OG shit. But what kind of positive shit can you tell them about how to get into that, or what to do, or it's kind of a hard question, but
I mean, I don't know, brother. I mean, I would just, there's nothing to it but to do it. I don't know where I heard that, man, if I heard Stinkweed say that, but I like that saying, because if you want to do it, man, just fucking do it, man. Like, whatever, you put in your head that, like, oh, I'm not good enough, like, that's just bullshit, like, you're never too old. You're never, I don't know, bro. I mean, rock music, I mean, that shit is dead.
Oh.
That shit's dead.
Oh.
These kids have nobody. The only, like, band that, like, I can even think of that's like a rock band is like I hate that band, like, with a passion, like that band, the Foo Fighters. I mean, Metallica is still a band, right?
Sure.
But it's I from the perspective that I look at them, and I mean, I watched a video of them, like, recently, dude. They did, like, the Call of Cthulhu. It was hella sick. I was like, yeah, I was sick. But they still look stupid.
Oh,
They don't look like how they did. Like, you get older, I get it, but I look stupid too. But I don't know, bro. I mean, positivity is not like my trip, man. You know that.
That's why
that
you're
it
the
ain't.
first one I asked.
I'm not into it because I think it's fucking bullshit. I think it's fake. I think it's fucking, I mean, I try to be happy and laugh, because, like I said, shit's funny, but I don't know what these kids, I don't, I love that my daughter, dude, she's fucking smart, dude. She's driven in school. I wish she had, like, hobbies and interests, and I don't see any, and maybe some of that's my fault for not, parents have to, like, actually force their fucking kids to do shit. And I haven't done that, like, sometimes you have to. I don't know. When I was playing trumpet, I probably at one point I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. And it was like, oh, fuck you. We're paying for that. Like, you're going to play it. And then I was like, okay, but I would come up with interests like skateboarding. And then when I got my first bass, I bought it. Later, my parents bought me the basses because they saw that, well, okay, he legit likes doing this. We're going to support that. I don't know. I don't know what, kids, I liked video games, but we used to go to fucking arcades and put quarters in fucking video games. Oh. That was fun. It was fun at home on the Nintendo and shit, but, like, the way it is now, it's like a culture. For us, it wasn't a culture. It was just a fucking thing that we did because we were bored. Now it's like, no, like, I'm just into video games. Like, that's my identity. Like, that's a faggot identity. That's not an identity. Like, you're a bitch. But then they're like, but I could be on Twitch and fucking just play video games and faggot other people watch me play them and I make money. Like this generation of kids, they're fucked. You know, there's nothing for them. You know, they're screwed, dude. I don't know. I have no hope. And I don't give a fuck. You know, fuck them. You know, so I'm just gonna say, you know, figure it out, bro. You know, maybe get into something, man. Fucking, you know, if you get into tagging, you get into graffiti, man, go do that shit. You know, fucking, if you get into skateboarding, man, fucking get a board, fucking go out there and have fun. That shit's hella fun. You know, I don't think, I mean, I know people buy instruments, you know, they have a Guitar Center in fucking Gilroy. I don't know what kind of music they're playing.
Oh.
You know, I guess there is bands that people like. It's just they're lame, but they could be gateways into good shit.
Sure.
And I think, you know, I listen to Def Leppard, bro. You know what I mean? But I got into Metallica. Like, you got to start somewhere, dude, and that's okay. So maybe there is hope. Maybe the kid that gets into the fucking Foo Fighters, that was the band who I was talking about. Like, that band I fucking hate. You know, he doesn't even write riffs. Like, you play a guitar, but you don't write a riff.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? Like, and you had a platform that you could have done anything you wanted, and that's what you chose to do. Like, you know, somebody should fucking kill that fucking guy. You know? Fuck Grohl. Guy's a bitch. I hate that faggot. And fucking, and he's responsible for why kids are gonna, instead of get into playing a guitar or bass or drums, they're gonna get into fucking mumble rap, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave fucking Grohl, man, because that guy's a bitch. So, and they're like, I don't want to be like that fucking faggot, and I don't blame him. You know, who does? The guy's a fag, and he fucking makes gay songs, dude. So, but maybe if somebody buys a Foo Fighters record and then they get Bleach by Nirvana and they're like, oh, who's Dale Crover? He plays on the heaviest songs on this album. Oh, he's in the Melvins. Oh, fuck. And then, and there you go. So it's possible. It's possible. I mean, it's crazy because there's people that get into our old bands.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. You had the path that you followed, and you explained that earlier, and you know the question was answered. You just answered it just now. It's
all right.
There's ways to follow the path, you know. But I just wanted to ask you the question because
I think the real folks will find it, and they'll go there. And the lames will buy a cookies hoodie and listen to fucking mumble rap, you know. And they'll wear like some Santa Cruz and like they'll have like sleeves and fucking like you know dog or something.
And don't skate.
Yeah, I mean all our culture is mainstream, but the people that rock it are just like normies, bro.
Totally normies.
Whatever. I mean, it's weird where I work because I have to see like the general public all day, every day.
Right.
You know, so it's strange.
You see kooks all day long.
Yeah, I do. I do get the boombox. So when we close, I work for another 2.5 hours after we close, right? And I drive a forklift and fucking, and sometimes I get the boombox. And we have one of those, you know, the ones that Costco sells, the fucking, whatever they call, like the Pathfinders, bro. And I bump your mixes.
Big.
And I've gotten a bunch of people like, what's the, like, and I'm like, yo, it's my boy, dude. He makes these sick mixes. A homeboy who works there who he knows about Benny and Conway and West Side Gun. There's a few people there that know about that shit. There's a guy that knows about hardcore. I gave him the Healer record and some other shit. I bumped your thrash one the other day. So I bumped Grand Invincible. I don't use those fucking Spotify. I don't use those fucking gay apps. I don't like any kind of app that's gonna. I curate my music. I don't want some fucking bitch made fucking AI, fucking techie fucking faggot coming up with what I hear.
Totally.
So, I only have SoundCloud and Bandcamp, and you know, I buy records on Bandcamp and then they're on my phone or whatever, and I fucking just bump them. So I have the Grand Invincible tape came out. I bought it. They're like, okay, you know, you can listen to it on this app or whatever. So it's cool like that. I like that. So I'm like exposing people to the West Bay, you know, you know, weekly, you know, maybe putting a little seed, planting a little seed, maybe.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do to the youngsters, for sure.
You know, I mean, I heard one of my coworkers was bumping some techno the other day, bro, and I was just like, man, I didn't even know that dudes, like, they made that music for dudes.
No, I mean,
like, I don't even know how you can even have I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand, bro. So I'd be bumping your mixes, I'd be bumping fucking the new Pyrexia, you know, like, just brutal ass shit. I do have some White House records on there. If I'm in a bad mood, man, one of these days I'm gonna put that shit on, dude.
Well, Frank, thank you very much for this. It's fucking been awesome. It's like we were doing the Curly and Franco podcast again.
Hell yeah.
Fucking miss doing this shit because we could just talk for hours. I mean, it was 2.5 hours already, fool.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. It was supposed to be an hour.
It's all good, man. I mean, I'm gonna put this all together. Might have to do it 2 parts because YouTube ain't gonna let me fucking do 2 hours, I don't think. But and then I'll put it up on SoundCloud and all that too. But fucking thank you very much for fucking doing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good looking out. Thanks for getting me on. I'm glad you're doing this with all the sick heads, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So I know you got to get to a lot more other people. So it's going to be some good shows coming up. I know that.
Just trying to build a tree, just trying to build a history, you know.
Yeah, well, this shit, you know, this shit's going to be out there, you know. Somebody might run into it, you know.
Exactly. So,
you know, besides the people that already know, you know.
Totally. So cool, man. Well, thank you again. I appreciate everything, and we'll fucking hook up soon.
All right, Curly. Thank you, brother.
Of course. All right, dog.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Peace out.